All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to another in a continuing series of Lunch and Learn sessions presented to you by CAD Dimensions. My name is Steve Nycott, and I'm going to be the presenter at today's Lunch and Learn. I am one of the members of the training staff at CAD Dimensions. And so today we're going to be presenting a little bit of information about the 3DExperience platform. The title of today's presentation is Experiencing 3DExperience. So to start with, I'll make a little bit of a disclaimer. Today's session is intended to be a very broad overview of the 3DExperience platform, sort of a general introduction to 3DExperience, and intended for those of you who might not be familiar with the 3DExperience platform and what it is and what it entails. So I will mention that at the outset of today's presentation, just to sort of set everyone's expectations. If you were expecting, an in-depth look at 3DExperience today, I'm sorry to say you will probably be disappointed. Again, today will be just a broad, high-level overview of 3DExperience, intended mainly for folks that are not really familiar with 3DExperience at this point. What it is, what it entails, and the functionality of 3DExperience. So let's go ahead and jump right in. At this point, you should be seeing on your screen my browser. I'm using Firefox at this point. And in my browser, I have the login prompt for the 3DExperience platform. So 3DExperience is a web-based tool. And so primarily, you would use a web browser to access it. In my case, I'm going to be logging into to a training and demonstration platform. A training and demonstration tenant is sort of the term that's in use, or that's commonly in use. To start with, let me back up a step here. You typically, to log into the 3DExperience platform, you need to have a login ID and a password. You need to have credentials. You need to have an account that gives you access to the 3DExperience platform. So I'm going to supply my user ID and my password and log into the 3DExperience platform. Oh, of course, I can't seem to type. There we go. That's a little better. All right, so when you first log into the 3DExperience platform, you will be greeted by what we call a dashboard. And so that is what you're seeing on your screen at this point in time. The dashboard is the primary mechanism that is used to organize and present information to users of the 3DExperience platform. So if you take a look at the title bar up here at the top, you'll see it's telling us we're accessing the 3DExperience platform. We're using the 3D dashboard application. And the dashboard that I'm currently using is a dashboard named My First Dashboard. As I mentioned, the dashboard is the mechanism that is used to present and to organize information. And part of that organizational facility is the use of tabs. You'll notice below the dashboard name here, I have two tabs. I have a tab named Getting Started and a tab named Learn the Experience. And I can select one or either of these tabs just by clicking on it. Now, right now, the Getting Started tab is selected, indicated by this blue underbar. And what I'm seeing in the rest of my browser window is the contents of that Getting Started tab. Essentially some information that has been put together by the Dassault folks as sort of a brief introduction to the 3DExperience platform. Now, the information that's contained on this tab is bigger than will fit in my browser window. So you'll notice over here on the right-hand side, I have a scroll bar that I can use to scroll down and see all of the information that's being presented on this particular tab. Essentially a series of images and some text. If I select the other tab, the Learn the Experience tab, just by clicking on it, I get more information, some additional information about the 3DExperience platform. In particular, what I'm seeing here are some video presentations that I can access just by clicking on them that give me additional information, additional introductory information about the 3DExperience platform. And if I scroll down, I have some additional information that's available to me, descriptive information about 3DExperience, and some links to additional information, additional video presentations that give me more in-depth information. This dashboard, this My First dashboard, is sort of the standard stock dashboard that has been created by the Dassault folks to be used as the initial dashboard, the starting dashboard for new users of the 3DExperience platform. And you can see how it gives you access to learning information, basic information about the 3DExperience platform, access to videos, access to text and descriptive information about the different functions of the 3DExperience platform. So this is an example, again, of how dashboards can be used to present information to the user and to organize that information through the use of tabs on the dashboard. Now, this dashboard isn't very interesting and isn't very useful. So what I'm going to do is, to begin with, we'll take a quick tour of the functions that are available in the navigation bar here in the 3DExperience user interface. And then we will, as a brief exercise, we'll create a dashboard of our own that will give us access to a little bit more interesting information, just other than the basic marketing information on 3DExperience. So to begin with, we'll start here on the left-hand end of the navigation bar. The very first element that I see right below the Dassault logo here is the dashboard list button. If I click that button, I get this panel on the left-hand side that expands, and it gives me a list of all of the dashboards that I currently have available to me. You'll notice here is that My First dashboard that we are currently accessing. And that is indicated as the current dashboard in that it's selected and highlighted in this blue color. If I want to select a different dashboard, I can simply click on a particular dashboard name, and then you'll notice that that dashboard displays for me in my web browser. There are some additional functions that are available here in the dashboard list panel. There is a search function. So if I have access to dozens of dashboards, I can locate a specific dashboard by name using the search function. There's also a button here, which we'll be using a little bit later on, to allow me to create a dashboard of my own. And then there's a button here that takes me to a management dialog that allows me to perform management functions on the different dashboards that I have access to. Things like editing them, deleting them, and sharing them with other users. So when we talk about dashboards, as I mentioned, dashboards are a mechanism that's used to present information and organize information. And I might want to do that for really two purposes. Number one, I can create personal dashboards. I can create a dashboard of my own that is accessible only to me, and use that to organize information that is available on or stored on the 3DExperience platform, files, information, web pages, and other assorted information, as we'll see, that I might need to have access to. The other general use of a dashboard is to provide a common experience to a group of users. So say, for example, I am the leader of a project team. As the leader of a project team, I might create a dashboard and use that dashboard to organize all of the information related to that particular project, all of the files, all of the tasks, all of the documentation, and so on, that the members of that project team might need to have access to. And then I could share that dashboard with all of the project team members. And those project team members then would have access to a common environment through the dashboard, and through the dashboard, access to all of the information related to the project that we're working on in common, the project that we're collaborating on. So those are sort of philosophically two purposes that dashboards are used for. All right, so we've looked at the dashboard list button. The next element in the navigation bar, as we proceed from left to right here, is the 3D compass. Now this 3D compass, the analogy that I usually use here is this is roughly equivalent to or analogous to the start button in Microsoft Windows. If I click this 3D compass, I get also a panel that pops out on the left side of my browser window. And this panel gives me access to all of the different applications, or apps as they're known, that are available to me through the 3DExperience platform. So an app is just an element of software, a piece of software that performs a specific function that is executed on or executed through the 3DExperience platform. And you can see here, I have a list of all the different apps that are available to me. And if I scroll down, you can see the complete list of all of the different apps, all of the different software applications that I have available to me currently as a user of the 3DExperience platform. Now, these apps that I have available to me are available to me because of these items up here at the top, the roles that I have. Now, a role is simply a group of applications that are grouped together for a particular purpose, for a job function, or for a particular user function on the 3DExperience platform. So you can see that I actually have 4 roles that have been granted to me. I have the Collaborative Business Innovator, Collaborative Industry Innovator, Collaborative Designer for SolidWorks, and the Platform Manager role. Each of these roles encompasses a specific set of applications that give me the ability to perform that particular function, that particular job function, or that particular function as it relates to the 3DExperience platform. All right, so the complete set of applications that I have available to me in the lower part of this panel is the sum total of all of the applications that are available to me because of the roles that have been given to me. Now, the roles that are available on the 3DExperience platform are essentially roles that my company would subscribe to, that they would pay the money in order to obtain access to those specific roles on the 3DExperience platform, and then they can confer those roles on users, members of that particular company that are users of the 3DExperience platform. Okay, so that is essentially how the software is parceled out. If I take a look here at the top of the compass panel, you'll see that I have 3 sort of tabs here. The Me tab is the one that's currently selected, and so that is displaying the information about me as a user. The Company tab gives me information about all of the different roles that my company has available to it as a company that may not be currently granted to me, that may not be conferred to me. So this information under the Company tab is essentially all of the roles that might be available to me if I were to request that role to be granted to me by my 3DExperience platform administrator. And then finally, the World tab gives you access to sort of the sales and marketing information. This series of 5 tabs or bars here sort of segregates the different roles into functional areas. And so if I click on a particular functional area, I get a list of all of the roles associated with that functional area. And if I drill down into a particular role, I get more information about that role. You'll see there's a short video presentation over here about that particular role. There's a list of the different applications or apps that are associated with that role, and so on. So you can see that there is information that's available to you through the 3DExperience platform about all of the different roles and applications that are available. All right. So we've looked at the dashboard list button where we have access to the different dashboards that we have available to us. We've looked at the 3D compass where we have the different applications, software applications or apps that are available to us through the roles that have been granted to us. We've already looked at the dashboard and the dashboard tabs here. The next element to look at here, proceeding again left to right, is the search box. In the search box, I have the ability to search for files that reside on the 3DExperience platform. And so if I type in a particular search term, let's say, for example, the word gear, what happens is the 3DExperience platform searches across all of the information that is stored on the 3DExperience platform on my particular tenant. Again, the term that's typically in use is a tenant on the platform, and returns for me a list of all of the files that match the criteria, the search term that I searched for here, in this case, the word gear. And so you can see here a variety of files that all have the word gear in their file name. And these are files that reside on the 3DExperience platform that I can, access and manipulate and so on. Now, part of the search process is this panel over here on the left-hand side. The panel over here on the left-hand side is what we call the 6W tags. And 6 Ws stand for who, what, when, where, why, and how. Now, granted, how doesn't start with W, but it ends with W, so it counts. It's one of the 6 Ws. And these tags, these criteria, allow me to filter the search results. So for example, if you take a look at the search results, at the tags that are present here currently, you'll notice under the who grouping of tags, there are 2 different users represented here. There's me, I'm currently logged in as user 1, and there's another user who has changed their name to Attack Walrus, another user on my 3DExperience platform. So the set of files that are returned in the search results include files that are owned by these 2 people. If I want to eliminate the files that are owned by Attack Walrus, and I want to see only the files that are owned by me, I can use this tag to filter the search results. If I click on this user 1 tag, you'll notice now that I'm seeing, instead of seeing 58 result files, I'm seeing only 8 result files. And so these 8 files are the 8 files that contain the word gear in their file name that are owned by me. All right, so I've used this particular tag to filter the search results and limit what's displayed to only files that are owned by me, by user 1. All right, and so you can see here there's a variety of tags in terms of I can filter by file type, I can filter by where the file is located in terms of its physical location on the platform. I can filter by when the file was created or modified, and so on. So that is essentially the search functionality on the platform. Again, I have the ability to do a basic search to locate files, and then I have the ability to use the 6W tags to drill down or filter the search results to locate a specific file or set of files according to various tag criteria. All right. Again, proceeding to the right here, the next element that I see here on the navigation bar is my user information. I'm logged in as a generic user, user 1, on this training and demonstration platform. And so I see my username displayed here. Below the username, you'll notice there is the display of the platform name. This is the platform that I'm currently accessing. And if you take a look, you'll notice that that platform name is also included as part of the URL here of the platform that I'm accessing. To the right of my username and platform name, you'll see I have a little image. So it's possible to have an image associated with each user, a picture or an avatar. Since I don't have an image associated with me, I get this little generic user 1 image. But this user 1 image, if I click on it, gives me access to a menu of functions relative to my particular user. the user that I'm logged in as. So I have access, for example, to be able to set my current status. You'll see my current status is online, and so that status displays to other platform users to let them know that I'm currently online and accessing the 3DExperience platform, and that they could communicate with me through the 3DExperience platform if they needed to. But I also have the ability to set my status to something else. If I'm busy, for example, and involved in a meeting, I can select that my current status is busy, and so now that is the status that will display to other platform users. I also have the ability to set my browser cookie preferences. I have the ability to edit my profile, including the ability to upload an image. I can also edit other information in my profile, things like my physical location, my geographic location, the company that I work for, and additional profile information that I can make available to other users of the platform. I have the ability to set some preferences relative to my use of the platform. And then finally, I have the ability to log out here on this menu. Continuing to the right, the remainder of the navigation bar consists of a number of buttons, what we call access buttons, that give us access to various functions. The first of those is notifications. If I click this notifications button, I get a panel that pops out on the right side of my browser window and gives me access to notifications. These are messages that have been sent to me either from the 3DExperience platform itself or from other platform users. This is one of the communication mechanisms that's available on the 3DExperience platform. You'll see here there's a series of messages that I can read here. There's a message about a survey being completed, some messages about licenses expiring, and so on. All right. So this notification panel is one of the methods that the 3DExperience platform uses to communicate to users information about important events, things that have happened, or things that will be happening. You can see that these notifications are organized in chronological order, and I have the ability here to mark these as having been read, to flag them as having been important, or to just go ahead and delete them if I want. I can delete a notification or clear a notification. The next function button or the next action button is the add button. This add button gives me access to be able to add certain elements. In this case, you can see I have the ability to add a dashboard, to create a new dashboard, to add a new tab to the existing dashboard, or to add what's called a story to my dashboard. Now, a story is sort of a guided tour through a dashboard. A story is almost like a video that you can create to guide users through a dashboard, perhaps for the purpose of illustrating a new function that's available on a dashboard, or for guiding the user through or educating the user through a process that they may need to perform using functions or information that's available on a dashboard. Again, it's sort of like a video or a presentation that you can create, a guided tour of sorts through a dashboard. The next action button that I have is the share action button. This allows me to share access to my dashboard or to a dashboard tab with other 3DExperience platform users. This is that scenario that I discussed earlier, where I might, as an example, as the leader of a project team, create a dashboard that contains and organizes information relevant to the members of that project team, and then share that dashboard with the members of the project team. So that is a function that is available on the 3DExperience platform, and that shared community dashboard becomes a point of focus, a point of common operation of all of the members of the project team. The next function button, this content function button, gives me access to a function called 3D Drive. If I click this, it gives me access to my 3D Drive storage capability. Now, the 3D Drive function within the 3DExperience platform is my one of the cloud storage mechanisms that's available to me. So this gives me the ability to upload and store and manage files in a cloud storage mechanism associated with the 3DExperience platform. Now, if you take a look here, you'll see that I actually have access to several 3DExperience platforms. And so I have a set of cloud storage associated with each of those platforms. And so each of those are listed here. There are 3 in total. The other feature that the 3D Drive application gives you, it gives you the ability to integrate other cloud storage mechanisms, particularly Box, Dropbox, Google Drive, and Microsoft OneDrive. And you can see here I have actually connected our Dropbox account here. And so through 3D Drive, I can access files that are stored in these other cloud storage mechanisms. That makes 3D Drive sort of a very convenient, centralized point of accessing all of my different cloud storage mechanisms, whether that's Google Drive or Dropbox or OneDrive or 3DExperience 3D Drive cloud storage. Now, this little pop-out panel that I get here is fairly small. And it's not real convenient to use. So we'll look at using 3D Drive in a little bit bigger user interface in just a second here. And then finally, the last action button, or the next to last action button, is the Communities button. This Communities button gives me access to another application, another software application called 3D Swim. Now, again, it's kind of inconvenient to work with 3D Swim in this little tiny side panel. We'll look at 3D Swim in a larger context in just a moment. And then finally, the last action button here is the Help action button. If I click on the Help action button, I get a menu of available help functions that I can access. In particular, this last one here, the 3DExperience User Assistance, if I select that, it takes me to the online documentation, the online help facility for the 3DExperience platform. All right, so that pretty much completes our tour of the navigation bar. At this point, what I'd like to do now is take a look at the process of creating a dashboard and what's involved in that. To begin with, there's actually 2 ways that I can create a dashboard. Number one, if I open the dashboard list panel, recall that I have this Add Dashboard button there that I can use to create a dashboard. I also, under the Add Action button here, had the ability to create a dashboard or add a dashboard. It's the same function, it's just 2 different ways of accessing the same function. All right, so to create a dashboard, I get this dialog. First of all, I have to give my dashboard a name. So let's call this my demo dashboard. You can give the dashboard a description if you'd like. The description is just a commentary description. Sorry, I can't. Dashboard. Can't talk and type at the same time here. Okay, so you give your dashboard a name, a description if you want, and click the big blue Create button, and that gives you a new dashboard. You'll notice that my new dashboard is showing up here in the list of available dashboards, and in just a second, that dashboard will load and display for me in the other side of my browser window. Now, when you create a new dashboard, you'll notice that you get a single tab. And it's named New Tab by default. If I want, I can change this. Let's name this tab 3D Drive, for example, because we'll take a quick look at 3D Drive. All right, so now I have a tab on my demo dashboard named 3D Drive. Now, currently that tab is empty. You can see I have just a big empty area here on my dashboard tab. So let's put something in this tab. Well, what can we put in this tab? In this tab, we can put applications. So what I'm going to do is go to my 3D Compass, click on that. We want to go back to the Me tab here where I have access to all of my applications. And under the list of applications that I have access to, you'll notice one of those applications is the 3D Drive application. to place this 3D Drive application on my dashboard is simply a matter of dragging and dropping that. And so I get the 3D Drive application placed on the 3D Drive tab of my demo dashboard. Now, once I place that application, I can make the window that contains that application a little bit bigger just by dragging the borders of the application window. So at this point, I've made the 3D Drive application take up about half of the space on my browser window. And in this 3D Drive application window, I have access to the same 3D Drive information that we saw previously. Specifically, if I look at the 3D Drive storage associated with one of my 3DExperience platforms, I have a list of files that are available. Wrong platform. Let's get to the right platform here. I have a list of files that are available to me in that 3D Drive cloud storage. So you can see here I have some folders and some files associated with the 3D Essentials course, which I just finished teaching this morning, actually. And so these files that are stored here are stored in the cloud, and as such, they are accessible really from anywhere. I could go to any internet-connected device in the world, log into the 3DExperience platform using my login credentials, and have access to these files that are stored on 3D Drive, just like any other cloud storage mechanism. Now, one of the useful things that I can do with these files is I can work with them from 3D Drive. And to do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add another application to my dashboard tab. That application is called 3D Play. Now, 3D Play is sort of a generic file viewer. It allows me to view a variety of different types of files. And I'm going to use the same procedure. I'm going to take that 3D application from my list of apps, drag and drop it into my dashboard tab. And the same kind of thing, I'm going to make this a little bit bigger to make it a little bit more useful, a little bit more visible. And now that I have this 3D Play application on my dashboard, I can use that to view the contents of different files. In particular, let's pick a good file here. So I have this assembly, this remote control assembly stored in my 3D Drive. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take that file and drag it from my 3D Drive application and drop it into my 3D Play application. And that will open that file and allow me to preview that file in 3D Play. And there it is. It's a simple application, or a simple assembly, sorry, consisting of several parts. It's a SolidWorks assembly consisting of several SolidWorks parts that make up a sort of a simple little remote, handheld remote. All right. Now, in the 3D Play application, I do have the ability to manipulate this to a certain extent. So I can rotate this if I want to look at it from a different angle. I can zoom in and zoom out if I want to look at this bigger or smaller, and so on. There's a variety of tools that you can see down here in the toolbar that allow me to manipulate this image in various ways. So that's an example of creating a dashboard and adding a couple of different applications to the tab on my dashboard and using the contents of those applications to view, to access files that are in my 3D Drive cloud storage and to view the contents of one of those files. At this point, I want to sort of change gears. So we've looked at dashboards in a little bit of detail. I want to change gears and look at the sort of the other major application that makes up a part of the 3DExperience platform, and that is the 3D Swim application. The 3D Swim application is the social media collaborative application that is a part of the 3DExperience platform. And to do that, I'm going to go back to my compass and go to the 3D Swim application. Now, the 3D Swim application, when I start that application, behaves a little bit differently from the other applications. The other applications that we have seen so far, and the 3D Drive and 3D Play being examples of those applications are run in sort of the context of the dashboard application. The 3D Swim application is more of a standalone application. And so when I start that application, you'll notice that it opened another tab in my browser, another browser tab, and executes the 3D Swim application in that browser tab. All right, so looking at the 3D Swim application, there over here on the left-hand panel, there are really two different modalities or methodologies that I can use to communicate with other 3DExperience platform users. There are communities, and communities are sort of like blogs, where you can create posts, you can post information, images, and so on. And then there are conversations. Conversations are more of a person-to-person communication, sort of a direct messaging or text messaging type application. So I can carry on a conversation between two people or between a group of people. Here you can see there's a group conversation that I'm a part of here that includes several other users, user 3, user 5, and our attack manatee here. Or I can have just a one-on-one conversation between me and another platform user. If I want, I can select a particular conversation, and then I see the particular messages that have been exchanged as a part of that conversation. And I don't think, do we have any? Yeah, at this point, I don't have any conversations that have messages in them. Let's, for example, though, let's say I want to communicate with user 3 here. So what I can do is I can enter a text message down here in the text box at the bottom, and including emojis if I want. If I want to include a smiley face emoji with my message, I can do that, and then send that message. So now when user 3 logs into the 3DExperience platform, if they're not already, they will see the little message that I have sent to them, and they can respond back in kind using this conversation mechanism. So again, conversations are more of a one-on-one exchange of information through text messages. Communities, on the other hand, are more of a public forum where I can create posts. Other platform users can comment on those posts or respond to those posts. If you take a look at this community that I'm looking at right now, I'm looking at a community that is titled Project Community. And under that project community, you can see there's a series of posts. The posts are arranged and displayed in sort of reverse chronological order. So here at the top of the list, you can see this engineering standards post, which is the most recent post I created here just about an hour ago. And if you scroll down, you'll see the posts sort of going back in time, down to the oldest post. If I scroll all the way to the bottom, a post that was created yesterday. Okay. So looking at these posts, you'll notice that there's different kinds of posts that are available. So let's go down here to the bottom. Down here at the bottom, I can see an example of sort of the most basic kind of community post that you can create. And that is a text post where the text post has a title and it just has some text. You can see here my friend Attack Manatee here created a test post yesterday as part of the User Essentials class that we were conducting yesterday. Here is another text post, but you'll notice that this text post has an image attached to it. So a basic text post can consist simply of text, but you can also attach some media to a text post, an image or a video, a link to a video, that sort of thing. Now, I mentioned earlier that you, as part of one of the operations that you can perform as a user, you can select your online status. If we take a look here at these community posts, you'll see that status displayed. The status of an individual user is displayed as sort of a badge that overlays their user image. And so here I can see that this person, Attack Manatee, is actually online. The little green check mark indicates that they're online. Currently. They're currently logged into the 3DExperience platform. And so I could, I suppose, in theory, communicate with that person, either in a conversation or using some other communication mechanism like a post on the 3DExperience platform. On the other hand, this user, user 3, is currently offline. The little gray badge on their user image indicates that. And there's a variety of other status indicators to indicate whether the person is online, busy, or currently inactive. All right. Continuing on, so we've seen one type of post that users can create, a text type post, which may or may not have some kind of file attached to it, an image file or other file. The next type of post that we see here is a media post. Now, a media post does always have some kind of media associated with it. In this case, we can see there's an image of a SolidWorks assembly here that is attached to this particular post. And in fact, there are some annotations associated with this. If I click on this assembly, or if I click on this image, it allows me to see a bigger image of this assembly, including the annotations that have been added to this. All right, so that's an example of a media post. Again, a media post will always have some form of media associated with it, an image, a video, something of that sort. The next type of post that's available is you can create a task post. And so here's an example of a task post, what's known as a to-do post. So in this case, you can see I created a post that says, we need to figure out where we're going for lunch today. And so what I've done is I've created this task. When I created this task, I could assign this task to a particular user, to another 3DExperience platform user, and request that they perform this particular task. In this case, I didn't assign it to a particular person, so some other 3DExperience platform user could come out here and assign this task to themselves. They could sort of grab that task and say that I'm going to take care of that task. Now, one thing that's associated with the task is the sort of the phase of the task. And when you execute or when you access a particular task, you can designate whether that is open, whether that's currently in progress or being worked on, or whether that's completed. And you can do that using these buttons at the top of the task. Associated with the task, you can also have a sort of a target completion date here, as you can see. The next type of post that we'll take a look at here that users can create in a 3D Swim community is an idea post. Now, an idea post can be used to propose a particular idea. And with an idea post, the idea post also has associated with it a life cycle, sort of an idea funnel or timeline or life cycle kind of concept. And so looking at this particular idea post, you can see that there are currently sort of 3 phases associated with this idea. Currently, it's defined as a new idea, but it could move in its life cycle once it's proposed as a new idea. We could evaluate this idea or move it to the concept phase to evaluate this idea, evaluate its feasibility and that sort of thing. And then if we decide that it's a good idea, that it's feasible, and that we actually want to move ahead with this particular idea, we can move it to the project planning stage and actually begin the execution and planning of the implementation of this particular idea. The next type of post that we can create is or that we'll look at here is a question type post. So this allows users, members of the community, to propose a question or to pose something that they need an answer on, and other members of the community can propose answers. So you can see here, I have the ability to enter some text here that answers or that responds to the need that has been expressed here. And then the initiator of the question has the ability, if multiple answers are proposed or provided, the user, the original user or proposer of the question, has the ability to designate which proposed answers actually answered the question or actually satisfied the need or the requirement. All right, the next type of post that we find that we can create in a 3D Swim community is a survey. So here you can see I've created a survey. Where should we go for lunch on Friday? And members of the community can respond to the survey using the answer button here. The answer button takes you into the survey and allows you to designate your response to the survey. And then once the survey is completed or closed, it displays the the responses to the survey and gives you the ability to, since the survey was created by me, I also have the ability to export the results of that survey. And then finally, the last type of community post that is available is a wiki. So members of a community can create a wiki. Let's see here. So here's my project standards wiki. If I select this, it takes me to a wiki, a community contributed wiki that members of the community can add to. So you can see here I have a couple of pages that I've added. I haven't really added a lot of information here. But I can create pages within the wiki. I can add text and images and other information to the wiki. Other members of the community that have the necessary privilege level can contribute also by adding additional pages and adding additional content to the pages of the wiki. All right, so those are some examples of the kinds of things that you can do and create within a 3D Swim community. Now, it's possible, as you can see here, to have access to multiple communities. Now, in my current platform, my training and demo platform, I only have a couple of communities. I have this project community and I have this Play 3D Experience community that are available to me. But it is possible to create additional communities for additional purposes and to designate different 3D Experience platform users as members of the community, to share access to a community and allow other platform users to contribute content, to make posts and comment on posts and add content to posts that are contained within a community. So it becomes sort of a shared access, collaborative environment if you share access to a community. All right, so that is in general our high-level overview of the 3DExperience platform and some of the functionality that's available to users of 3DExperience. So at this point, if there are any questions or comments, I'd certainly be willing to entertain those. If you would like, you can post questions or comments in the chat facility of Demio. Looking at the chat, I see, I apologize, David, it looks like you posted this a bit ago. Are we able to save files to the local systems and not the cloud? Yeah, certainly, if I'm understanding your question here, you have access to all of the usual mechanisms that you have in Microsoft Windows. You can create files on your local machine and save files there, but you can also save files to the cloud storage that is available to you through the 3DExperience platform. Okay, so Glenn asks, are drawings done in SolidWorks and then moved to the 3DExperience for community sharing? So yes, Glenn, so that question is sort of a loaded question. With SolidWorks, you have the ability to work both ways. You can work with files that are locally stored on your local machine. Certainly, you have that ability that you've always had with SolidWorks. But you can also, there is an add-in for SolidWorks that you can utilize to open files and to save files to the 3DExperience platform. And so you can work in either mode. You can work locally with files that are stored on your local machine, just like you always have. Or you have the ability, if you have access to the 3DExperience platform, the ability to store SolidWorks files and work with SolidWorks files from the 3DExperience platform, from the cloud storage that's available to you there, directly in SolidWorks. Okay, so hopefully that answers your question there. And then John asked the question, can we work offline? So if I'm understanding your question, John, the answer to that is no. The 3DExperience platform is an online platform. So you do need to have internet access to be able to access 3DExperience. It is a cloud-based online application. So there is no, sort of offline mode that you can access 3DExperience in general. As a general broad statement, no, there is no offline mode that's available for 3DExperience. Yi, and I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name here, has asked, does the 3DExperience platform have more project management tools? Yes. So again, this was intended just to be a high-level overview, certainly in no means a comprehensive view of the tools that are available in the 3DExperience platform. So there are a vast number of apps that are available on the 3DExperience platform that we have not covered. So whether there is a specific draft risk analysis, I guess I can't say off the top of my head, but yeah, there are a very large number of apps that are available on the 3DExperience platform that we have not even touched on today. So there's much more available in terms of what's available on the platform. So no need to load SolidWorks on my workstation, John asks. Well, okay. So again, that's a little bit of a loaded question there. So there are really, SolidWorks works in two different modes as far as the 3DExperience platform is concerned. There is what we call SolidWorks Connected. And SolidWorks Connected is sort of a scaled down version of SolidWorks that can be installed on your local machine from the 3DExperience platform. It's sort of a download that's available that is available from the 3DExperience platform as part of the platform, part of your subscription to the platform. And that gives you access to SolidWorks functionality in conjunction with 3DExperience. The other way that SolidWorks works is if you have your normal desktop installation of SolidWorks, there is an add-in that is available that gives you connectivity from your normal desktop SolidWorks installation to the 3DExperience platform. So again, there's sort of two modes that SolidWorks works in. Normal desktop SolidWorks plus an add-in, and then what we call SolidWorks Connected, which is and really another app that is available from the 3DExperience platform that has a portion of the app that is downloaded to your local and installed on your local machine. So I guess I would have to say the short answer to your question, John, is no, that's not true. Either way, if you're going to use SolidWorks, there is a component that needs to be installed on your local machine. So SolidWorks is not strictly cloud-based at this point. There is a component that is required, whether you're using Connected or whether you're using desktop on your local machine. All right, good questions. Any other questions? Okay, very good. So I will hang around for a few more minutes to entertain questions if folks still have questions, but that is it. Thank you very much for participating in the Lunch and Learn session today. Hopefully you found it useful and informative information, and I will bid you all a good afternoon, a good and productive afternoon. All right, thanks very much.